Another exciting episode of Speculative Tolkienism.
Okay, so then they meet Gollum. This three-way relationship between Frodo, Gollum, and Sam, I think, is actually the core of Lord of the Rings. Like that interplay between those characters, I think, is really key because there's so many layers of like loyalty and service, and like Sam is loyal to and kind of the servant almost of Frodo. Frodo's his master, and then here you have this new service rendered by Gollum to his new master, which is Frodo. But of course, the true master of Gollum is the ring, and the true
Yes.
Lord of the Ring is Sauron. So
Right.
it's really weird how when you see Frodo finally kind of get control over Gollum and get him to obey and behave, that he's basically lording it over Gollum as if Frodo were the Lord of the Rings. He's like, I'm going to use the power of this ring to and it's like almost the first hints that Tolkien gives that Frodo is like, this is just speculation, of course.
Yes.
Like that, the first kind of vague notions that here Frodo is like becoming the new Dark Lord. He's like the Lord of the Rings. He's using the power of the ring to coerce or compel service or slavery by this lowly being Gollum. And I think he does so like for pragmatic reasons. He's trying to get to go destroy the ring at this point, with no intention of claiming the ring at this point, but eventually he will want to claim the ring. And I think basically it's just Tolkien saying you can't use the ring to control people without it coming back and turning you into a tyrant and turning you into a Lord of the Rings and like kind of tarnishing your soul or whatever.
Yeah.
You
know, the interesting thing is though, it's like I mean, you like Gollum's like you just said that Gollum's master is Sauron in a roundabout sort of way, but
just because Sauron's the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, just because he's the Lord of the Rings. But honestly, I think that this might be a testament to maybe the I don't want to say willpower, but like the fortitude of the hobbits, right? Because Gollum wants the ring, but the last thing he wants is he wants the ring for himself. He doesn't give a crap about Sauron. Like he wouldn't claim the ring and then go take it to Sauron. Like I think
because you have to ask with Gollum, like, does he claim the ring or has the ring claimed him? Like it's like the ring it owns Gollum. In a way, he's like he's its slave or something.
Right. But like I mean, the ring might try to kill Gollum, but I don't think Gollum would like if he were to claim it or whatever. But I don't like. And again, that's why like with Frodo and like they had a hobbit carrying the ring that they're not going to fade. They're just going to what I'm talking about. They won't become a wraith. I don't know because I mean obviously Gollum is hundreds of years old, right? And he has and he had the ring for way longer. And granted that it was explained away that he didn't use the ring as much because he didn't need to in the dark, but he still had it enough to where he should have faded by now if that was like because how long. I mean, I don't know how long like each man, like each of the ring wraiths had before they faded and then had no will of their own, And again, it might be the fact that the one ring, like is designed to dominate those other rings. So, but it's still.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, you see Frodo at the end of, in chapter Mount Doom where he's about to claim the ring and you wonder, well, he might have a brief moment of glory where he's kind of Dark Lord-esque, but eventually he will become like a Gollum. I mean, it'll corrupt him. And then, but will Gollum, like you speculated, like, will Gollum, through 1,000 more years of being enslaved to the ring, will he eventually just be a wraith? Or will he just shrivel up into even a more leathery, sinewy, like frog-like creature, or like almost like amphibian. That like I mean like he's wrongly depicted in like the Bakshi film or whatever. But I think but
And
there's
the
something to be
Reiki
said for
mask.
that. Like he's kind of becoming less hobbit like and more like a lizard like cave dweller or something.
Well, another thing in here too that I mean, in a Gollum description was when Sam attacked him, right?
Mm,
And Gollum was getting the better of Sam. Frodo grabbed him by his hair and pulled it and put the
mm.
sting under his
Yeah.
you
Why was
know.
that not as believable as it could have been? Or I did.
What do you mean?
At first, I was like, I don't buy it, Tolkien. I'm not buying this.
Buying what?
That he could pull Gollum back by his hair and like put the knife to his throat to put sting to his throat.
um I
I'm
don't
kind of
know, but
making
the
a joke,
fact that
but because he only has 6 hairs.
no, I mean, they never say how many hairs he has. He has 6 teeth. He
He has
has
six
9 teeth.
teeth.
No, 6 teeth, 6 teeth.
He's six
Yeah, they
teeth.
said 9 they had 9 teeth and
Okay.
they
I
traded.
always thought he had. I know he had 6 teeth, but I was imagining he basically has like a lousy attempt at a comb over. He has like 6 really long hairs,
Yeah, 6 really long hairs.
and if you try
Yeah,
to
but
yank your head with those hairs, the hairs will just break.
yeah, no, there's no real, like, description of Gollum in here, and so, I mean,
But I guess he
it
does
would
have
make
hair.
sense. Yeah, which was, I was like, "Oh."
He's got enough
Be
hair to be able to grab onto and yank back. It
Yeah,
almost surprised
yeah.
me, but otherwise,
Yeah,
you know,
that's crazy.
I mean, I'm kind of joking. Like, it's a cool scene. I don't have really any problem over it. Although I did picture him being fairly bald.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, like, every depiction of Gollum and that we've seen in
Like not,
popular.
yeah. There's not a whole lot of hair to grab onto, and
Yeah,
obviously in Jackson, there's no hair
yeah,
at
they
all.
right, and basically it's no hair in a loincloth. You know what I'm saying?
He grabbed him by his loincloth. He's
Yeah.
like, "I'm
Do
going to depants you if you don't let go of my friend."
do you think though that again, like because like there's no description of clothes or whatever, but do you think Gollum would have been like like they would describe him like the last vestiges of human like of hobbit humanity or whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
where he tried to wear clothes, he tried to wear what like yeah, and he
Yeah.
was just completely um because like he's got to like be susceptible to weather. I mean, like they're
Mm.
in the middle of winter and he's
Yeah.
just jumping around like he's not cold or anything. It's kind
Right.
of
Right. I mean, I would imagine that obviously as a hobbit, he probably used to wear clothes,
right, right,
but
but
it doesn't say that he's completely naked either. So maybe he's
right.
wearing like cut off jean shorts.
Yeah, yeah, short jorts. Um,
Like I'm
no,
picturing, you know, like in zombie movies, like the zombies are wearing like the rags of the clothes they used to have.
yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Like that's what I
Yeah.
kind of think that maybe Tolkien had in mind, where he's like his Sunday best or whatever, but it's just completely torn apart. I don't know.
The Sunday best, but he's into shorts. He looks like Angus Young.
Yeah. It looks like, but you know what I'm saying? Like a scavenger. One like at the bottom of the mountain, he may not have needed clothes, but I mean, there's got to be some kind of you know, um,
Some modesty factor. He doesn't want to run
yeah.
around naked. He's got to be wearing
But I mean,
something.
yeah, but
I never even
that's
thought about that. Put maybe in the comments, our audience can chime in what they think Gollum's actually wearing. Is it the loincloth of Peter Jackson, or is there something more interesting going on?
yeah. Because I mean, it wasn't like it's like there he was in all of his glory. There was like
Yeah, in his birthday suit.
yes, it's because it's his birthday present.
It's my birthday, and I want.
I mean, I don't know if we want to get into this now, but the page that you're on was like something that I had noticed when he started talking in a different voice in a different language or whatever, and he started when he's basically when in his head he's talking to Sauron, being tortured, and he's usually using "leave me alone," "you hurt me," "oh my poor hands," Gollum, I don't want to come back, I can't find, like, you know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
using "I." It's very like he's not. I mean, again, like Tolkien had pointed out that when he refers to "we," it's more of like the Gollum character, and the "I" is more of the Smeagol character.
Right. No, he's definitely like this, as many people have acknowledged, like a split personality. It's like don't look at us, go away, go to sleep. That's what is that? That's at the very top of this page. Don't look at us. That's
He's
like the eye of Sauron,
yeah,
basically, metaphoric or
yeah,
otherwise. Like it's go away, go to sleep, but the eye never sleeps. It's like this almost insomniac eye, always on Gollum.
right.
Um, he will not go away or go to sleep at your command, Smeagol, said Frodo. But if you really wish to be free of him, you must help me. So this is like Frodo kind of giving the game away a little bit,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
as if this is Gollum's only way out, and it's true. It's really his only way out. He ends up, you know, spoiler alert, but he ends up dying. But it was his only
Yeah.
chance to be free, really.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, like, right now, they're kind of in a standoff, you know what I'm saying? Like like, what do you do if you're Frodo in this situation? I mean, like,
Mm,
killing him is obviously off the table, you
right.
know, and you can't let him go. It's like they're both stuck, you know? I mean,
Yeah. I thought it was a weird passage at the bottom of this page where they like trick Gollum into running away.
yeah,
Like Frodo looked across at Sam, their eyes met, and they understood. Like they were just going to pretend to fall asleep. This is kind
yeah,
of an
yeah,
odd situation. Like they pretended to fall asleep and waited for Gollum to try to escape, and then they pounced. Um,
yeah.
I wonder what that achieved. Really, I mean, couldn't they have just tied Gollum up before? Like, I mean, maybe they're testing him. Like, if we fall asleep and he's there, like we're gonna have to sleep eventually for real. So
Right, right,
basically, they're
right.
like, we're gonna pretend to sleep and kind of test the water and see how this guy responds to us being asleep. Is he gonna try to throttle us, or is he going to try to escape? And obviously, he tried to escape, and they were on him.
Yeah.
But that was like, a weird moment where they both knew. Like, I mean, maybe they discussed it earlier, but it was weird that they kind of knew. Like, okay, now we can't actually sleep. We just got to pretend to sleep to see what he does or something.
Well, I think this was like the first test, like the first test for the yeah, it's kind of establishing dominance. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's like you can't get away from us, no matter how. Like, it's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure kidnapping, like it's what is it? The Stockholm syndrome. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? Where Gollum's like
right.
starts
I
identifying with his
mean,
captors.
it's weird because it kind of seems like they're being kind of cruel, but obviously it's out of necessity and it's just short of killing him. Like they can't kill him, they can't let him go, but in
Right.
order to make him captive, they have to be like kind of taskmasters and Stockholm syndrome advocates and like basically say you're going to be our slave or be our subordinate and like it
Yeah.
because you have no other option.
But I mean, let's face it though. This this is probably one of the most interesting dynamics in character dynamics in Lord of the Rings.
I would even say in all of literature. No, I mean, it's like between the three of them, it's like pretty fascinating. Like the levels of servitude and mastery, and like Frodo in a sense is just as much of a slave as Gollum, or at least as in a precarious circumstance. Although he doesn't wear it on his face.
You
His
know, like I
situation
don't
is
know.
precarious. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is ever pointed out, but I mean, this again, it's like kind of occurring to me right now as we're discussing this. Is that you've got this three-way dynamic, which is kind of like uh, um, is weird, right?
Mm.
But if you look at it, if you take Frodo and then you take Sam and you take Gollum, like they like Sam and Gollum represent the good and the evil that Frodo has to choose between. You know what I'm talking
Hey,
about?
that's good. That's good.
Like, and in the Jackson movie, it was illustrated a little bit more that Frodo was a little bit like, as the dynamic went on, that
Mm.
Frodo was being swayed more and more by Gollum, the evil side, until Gollum, escapes.
Right, right. He was like deceived by Gollum. Like there was that whole like Limbas, Gollum putting the crumbs of
Yeah,
Limbas
yeah.
all over Sam, and like
Which never happened in the book. Spoiler
no,
alert.
the fat hobbit ate all the Limbas, and it didn't happen in the book, but it was effective. It was effective to show that Gollum was conniving, and that Sam was the victim of Gollum's like connivingness, and that Sam was loyal, but he had a hard time showing Frodo, who was duped by his own sympathy
Right,
towards
but
Gollum and the ring.
I think that was like I would dare say that was probably an intentional illustration of Frodo like kind of succumbing to the ring more or less, and this is kind of,
Yeah.
those two characters represent his good and his bad side.
Well, I would say that there's actually this interesting moment here where Gollum swears on the precious.
Yeah.
Well, he offers to swear on the precious. Um, he's like, they put the thing on him. They put the rope on him. He's like, take it off, take it off. What? No, I will not take it off unless there is any promise you can make that I can trust. We
Right.
will swear to do what he wants. Yes, yes, said Gollum, and still twisting and grabbing at his ankle. It hurts us to swear. Smeagol, said Gollum, suddenly and clearly opening his eyes wide and staring at Frodo with a strange light. Smeagol will swear on the precious. Ooh. And then there's that moment, and then there's that debate, almost like Frodo's like, you can't swear on the precious, you have to swear by the precious. And I've read up on this moment a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have any sense of like why that's an important distinction between
Oh,
swearing
on the
on the
precious and
precious?
by the precious. Yeah, because it's it's probably has to do with the twisting the words. I mean, there's wiggle room when you say on the precious.
He kind of actually hints at it here. They're basically saying when you swear on something, that means, technically speaking, you have to be touching it. Like when you swear on a Bible, you put your hand on the
Yeah, yeah,
Bible. And so
right,
Frodo's like, well, I don't want you to swear on the precious because that means you have to put your hand on the precious,
right,
which
right.
is what you probably want to do. So towards the bottom, Frodo says, "No, not on it." And looking down at him with stern pity, all you wish to do is see it and touch it if you can. That would be, I'm swearing on the precious. So I'm
Yes,
trying to
yes.
see it and touch it to swear on it.
Oh,
And
so
it would
Gollum's
drive you
being a
mad.
trickster.
Yeah, he's tricksy. So swear by it, if you will. So he has to swear
Yeah,
by the precious instead of on. It's like semantics, but it's like there's a distinction that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you invoke the precious to like bolster your promise, but you're not going to put your hand on it or something.
Yeah, I'd never thought of it like that because like again, reading it when I was a kid and as an adult, you always like take it for granted that like no, there's no way that he's ever going to see the precious. You know what I'm talking
Right,
about?
right.
Yeah, I mean,
But he said it's
among
like, go ahead.
among other things, like Frodo would be kind of stupid to take the ring out anyway, and like what I was going to point out too about this whole chapter is the fact that they're kind of openly discussing going to Mordor, doing all this stuff that Gandalf probably would have been having like a conniption had he overheard this. I mean, they're
Right,
kind of giving.
right. They're basically admitting to what they're doing, and who knows, like who's listening in on this plan.
Yeah,
I mean,
they've
they're not giving away details, but they're strongly hinting that they're going to go destroy the ring.
but they've learned nothing from Bree. You know what I'm saying? They've learned absolutely nothing.
They've learned nothing from Bree.
You know?
But the thing is, the point I'm making is that like if he wants him to swear by it,
Yeah.
but it's like if you don't have your hand on it, then where is it? Like the question is like, okay, so I can't swear on it. It's not in front of me. But Frodo like specifically says it is before you. It says
right.
not on it, swear by it if you will, for you know where it is. Yes, you know, Smeagol, it is before you. So he's
Yeah.
basically admitting that he has it, which is pretty crazy. Like telling this
Yeah,
drug addict,
considering
telling this heroin addict, like, swear by the
right.
heroin, I have some.
Yeah, like
but
yeah,
don't
I've
strangle
got
me.
crack. I've got crack rocks with me, but you can't have any.
Right. But you have to swear by them to serve me. And maybe someday I'll let you have anyway. But yeah, it's a weird moment. But here's my ultimate point with this.
Okay.
Like, you know how you were just saying how, especially in the Jackson, Frodo's torn between it's not especially in the Jackson, but Jackson illustrates this nicely, I think. But
Yeah.
Frodo's torn between being good like Sam or being evil like Smeagol or Gollum, and
Yeah.
the fact that he seems to be kind of leaning towards Gollum is indicative of the fact that Smeagol or that Frodo is turning evil, is being corrupted by the ring.
Yeah. Like the ring is kind of slowly overtaking him.
Right. But one thing I never noticed is that when he says the ring is before you, you have to swear by it. He's invoking the ring in order to gain. Frodo's invoking the ring in order to gain Gollum's obedience. So in a way, Frodo's using the ring. And what's like worse for Frodo than to use the ring? When you use the ring, you become corrupted by the ring. So this whole time they have to do it because they have to get Gollum to lead them into Mordor. But
Yeah.
putting Gollum in that position of service to the One Ring and basically saying, and this is why when he says, I will serve the master of the ring, there's that weird ambiguity. Is he serving Frodo, the master of the ring, or is he serving like Sauron, the master of the ring? Like there's that weird ambiguity, and it kind of makes Frodo a bit of a Dark Lord because he's using the ring to gain the service of the lowly creatures.
Yeah, it makes Frodo a minor Dark Lord.
He's making him a little Hobbit Dark Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.